Let's be honest. Most real estate agents stay broke even if they're making six figures, 100K, 200K every single year, they still stay broke. I mean, they're good at showing the lifestyle, the commission checks, and all these amazing things that they're accomplishing. But what they're not showing is the burnout. They're not showing the panic when deals aren't coming through. And they're not showing the financial distress that they have with all the overhead and chasing that next check so they can keep up with their lifestyle, right? So making six figures is not always the key. What the key is scalability, because there's a big difference between being profitable and being scalable. And in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how you can scale your business, not feel broke, and make sure you're not falling into the trap of always chasing the commission check. Without further ado, let's go. Let's get it. All right, so real estate will give you freedom until you get good at it. All right? Sounds weird, right? Real estate will get you freedom until you get good at it. Because once you get really good as a salesperson, once you get really good at selling real estate, you start relying on that skill. And then what you're continually doing is you're constantly chasing the next deal. You really become a high-paid salesperson in your own business, which is good up to a point. Because most of us, we came out of a 9-to-5 or straight out of school. We got our real estate license, and making six figures at that point was a dream. And then when you make like something like 200K or 250K, you're like, man, I was never going to do that in my corporate gig. That does make sense. But the trap becomes when you get so good at it, you're not expanding. You become reliant on your skill. So you just become a person that is very good at conversion. So the freedom is now gone, right? The freedom is totally gone because you get so busy working in your business that you don't know how to build a business, and you're definitely not working on your business. And this trap compounds over time. It gets bigger and bigger and bigger, right? And sometimes you put yourself in deeper holes. When I started making, six figures in real estate, which was really early in my career, I started spending more. And it wasn't maybe lavishly, but you start buying property, you start buying your primary residence, you start doing things, maybe going on a little bit more vacation. So now you get adapted to that lifestyle. So now you have to keep selling the same amount in order to keep that lifestyle. It's a trap. Think about it. You become so good at sales that you become a salesperson. And the skill of buying back your time, the skill of financial freedom, location freedom, and time freedom is not to be the best salesperson in your business. It's to be and lead the best business. So becoming the best leader in your business, right? So let's talk about the three levels of agents that I've seen. The hustler. The grinder, we love to hustle. We hear that all the time. When we think about sales, we think about hustle, right? Let's go hustle. Well, the hustler is great. The hustler closes deals, but he or she cannot unplug. Their phone is constantly in their ear. They're thinking about their next deal. They're going to listing appointments. They're showing buyers. That's good to a point, but all of us need to graduate. And many people that are making a couple of 100K a year do not know how to graduate. Number one, they don't surround themselves with people that have run a business in real estate. And running a business does not only mean, starting a real estate team or open up a brokerage. No. give me a like, subscribe to that channel. I'll show you exactly how to do it without any of that stuff. But back to the hustler, this person gets so good at making money and converting that they get so bad at buying their time back. So a lot of these people, they'll be like, okay, well, $150,000, $200,000 I made in the last 3 years every single year, that's not good enough anymore. Not because they're overspending, but we all have goals as entrepreneurs. You want to go to the next level. You want to see the next area of life in terms of how far you can push yourself. So instead of, implementing some systems and automating their business, what they start doing is they start doing more of what's been working. Right? Why wouldn't you? Hey, if I make X amount of calls a day and I'm getting X amount of appointments and then my conversion rates on my appointments are X, let me work on my conversion rate and get them higher and let me double the calls that I'm making. Makes sense. But what happens to your life? Now, because you haven't learned to scale, you might start ending up, wasting a lot of monies on these lead companies or whatever you think is going to help you because you didn't sit down and build the business. Now, we talked about the hustler. The next person I want to talk about is the builder. The builder I see that has graduated from hustling, but now there's another trap there. Because the builder has usually been a hustler first. They're really good at sales. So what happens is they try. They try to have a couple of systems, maybe even admin, but they still carry everything. Let me take you back to my first real estate team. I pretty much I had an overflow of business. I was really good at what I did. I was ambitious, I still am. And I was like, okay, the next step is let's start a real estate team. I crushed it being a solo agent. Let me try to start a real estate team. So I brought people onto my real estate team. First of all, they weren't the right people to bring on. And because they weren't the right people to bring on, and because I didn't have operation systems and I was winging everything as I go, right? That's what high achievers do. They jump and then they figure it out, right? Even though I was taking some coaching, it wasn't hardcore. I wasn't implementing what I should. So I was the builder. What happened was I would net less money. Because I wasn't good at recruiting, because I wasn't good at training, because I wasn't good at having operation systems and the right tech stack to, evolve my business, what I would do is I would get in front of people. I was a great motivator. Hustlers are sometimes really good motivators. They would hype people up, but then those people are led to fail. So I can't really say that my team was crap. Maybe I was crap as a leader. So what happens to the hustler turned builder is they start netting less money. So because they have this team, small scale team, they start having more overhead. And now they need to make sure that the people on their team are fed, either through salary or through commission deals. The agents that join them need commission. The people they hire need salary. So if that 200K is still 200K, you are netting less money. So this is the inflection point where a lot of realtors are like, screw this. I might as well just go sell houses on my own. And they stay a solo agent. Right? So if you're not building it right, the builder is sometimes worse than the hustler. Because at least the hustler was making more money. But at the builder point, that agent is still working in the business because they'll have to go to their agent appointments to close the deals for them. Or they would have to get on the call to close the deals for them. They are pretty much doing everything. They're working in the business still and netting less money. That's a horrible place to be. So the third type of person I've seen in this game is the CEO agent. So this is where you want to be, right? This person builds a brand. They leverage. They have revenue streams. They have everything. They have built an infrastructure for success. They have operation systems. They have built a small business. and they have the right people helping them carry that business. The recruiting is good, the meaning they're getting the right people on the bus, because you can have the best infrastructure in the world, but if you don't have the right people on the bus, it's not going to go very far. Does that make sense? So it's really important to get the right people on the bus and then have the operating systems ready. Now, in today's world with AI and ChatGPT and all this free advice, because we're in a value age, you can turn on YouTube, and if you really pay attention, you can watch channels like this or the other ones that are your favorite. You can actually learn how to build an operating business and be the CEO of that business. Now, the CEO of the business is a great leader. So you have to fuel yourself and invest in yourself and become the best version of yourself so people want to actually be around you, so you can motivate and lead in the right way. Also, a good CEO has the right operating systems that are working, that people want to be around, so everybody is happy. They have the right training systems. They have the right tech stack with all the right tools like the CRMs, the follow-up systems, you name it, communications things like Slack or whatever anybody chooses to use. That is where you want to be. So now you are buying back your time and you are making more money, okay? And even if, let's say you're netting that same 200K, but you're doing things totally different. You have your time back, number one. Number two, you're leading with contribution because, yeah, you might be taking home 200K, but your business might have accumulated $1 million. So now you're putting food on other people's table, which really feels good. I'd rather have that than just being a hustler and making 200K just for myself. Third, and most importantly, you have actually a vision and you have something that is scalable. Because if you can net 200, you can start netting 400 if you just up the volume on what's working and get rid of what's not. So you got to audit your business all the time. So if you're a hustler, make sure that you take the right steps and become the CEO. Because I'll tell you, you will burn out. And to all you young guns that are out there, you're crushing real estate and you don't think your beard is ever going to turn gray, or you don't think you're going to lose your hair, it's going to happen, man. So start building your infrastructure now, because I'm telling you, you don't want to be a slave to your business forever. And some of you are really good at just being the solo agent, which is cool. You have no, you don't want to, expand. Maybe you're expanding in other things, like you're taking a commission check, you're investing in real estate or stocks or whatever you're doing, and you're cool to make 200, maybe in good years, $300,000 a year, but you're not doing it by breaking your back. You set your limits, you work on certain times. That's cool too. There's nothing wrong with that. In this video, I'm talking about the ambitious hustler, to make sure that they do it the right way if you want more out of your real estate sales license. So we talked about the issue, how agents can make a couple of $100,000 a year and still stay broke, or still have no time on their hand. So what are the fixes? I kind of mentioned it, but let's kind of narrow down on the fix. You really have to focus on building reliable operations and, firstly, lead systems. What lead systems are working? Get rid of what's not working. And it's not just about throwing money at it. This could be cold outreach, warm outreach. This could be business through referrals, business through affiliates, business through running ads and marketing, whatever floats your boat. You can't do it all at once, though. Perfect one system, get everything around it going, master it, then add a second system. And in the course of a few years, you're going to have this amazing business that's on autopilot, where every system is streamlined and you are really good to go. The second fix is getting income that doesn't rely on you being on the field, doesn't rely on you showing homes, or doesn't rely on you door knocking or going to listing appointments. Now, pro tip, giving up your listing should be the very last thing that you do. Until you find a rock star that can close and do what you do, man, that's the last thing I would give up. Give away your buyer appointments, but do not give away your listings. Okay? Because the more listings you have, the more you are taking market share, the more your face is getting out there. Different video for a different day. Hit the notification and you will see it. And then ultimately having a business even when you step away. Depending on what age you are when you're watching this, there's going to come a time in your life where you want to spend more time on your health. You want to spend more time with your significant other, or traveling, or hey, man, if you have kids, you're definitely going to have to spend more time with those kids. Your little babies suck up a lot of time, you know what I'm saying? And money. So if you can automate your time and your money, you're winning. You know what I'm saying? You're winning. So you want to make sure that you start developing that as you grow. And when you develop a business that is growing without you, now you're winning. Because I'm going to share a little secret with you. Because a lot of y'all are stuck in your business, but don't forget you're an entrepreneur that happens to have a real estate license. You're not just a real estate agent. When you got into the business, it's because you have some entrepreneurial blood. You left your 9-to-5, whatever the case may be. Now, when you buy back, that entrepreneurial blood doesn't go away. So when you get unstuck from your business and you're not the hustler and now you're the CEO, well, you think that entrepreneurial spirit's gone? No, it 10x's. So when you buy your time back, you're going to see other opportunities in different industries or in your same industry, and you're going to start rocking and rolling. Right? I was so commission driven that I was awesome. I've been all of these things. Awesome solo agent, a builder that failed, then a CEO that's kind of built a pretty cool team that was making money without me. And now when I took step back, I have so many wings in my business. I have a rev share wing. I have a construction wing. I have a law firm wing. All of this through real estate sales because I'm the guy that gets all the files with all the agents that have believed in me. That's called scaling. A media business. The entrepreneur in me didn't die. It actually evolved. But I had to buy my time back. I had to stop being the hustler. I used to be proud when I was hustling. I'm a hustler, baby. But that's not it. That's not the game. The game is to be the leader, the CEO, and make money while you're sleeping. If you're not making residual income, you are not making income. You're just an overpaid salesperson in your job. Look, what I'm going to do is for all y'all, you guys will, subscribe. And if you're following my channel, I'm going to hit up a free webinar under Scale House, a company I created to help everyone scale. It's going to be free. It's going to be value. But instead of me talking to you on a camera, it's going to be on a webinar so we can have that interaction. So stay tuned. I'll probably do that very, very shortly. Subscribe, hit me up with comments, and stay tuned so I can help you scale. See you on the next one.